What time does the race start for those that want to watch?
Yeah, half marathon goes off at 6 o'clock, and then the full marathon will start at 7:45.
That's pretty good. So have you actually ran in the marathon yourselves? It is gorgeous here in the bay here in Lake Superior. It is just an absolute beautiful morning. And we are paddling because of Zenith Adventure. And from Zenith Adventure, we have Katie Rochelle. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for coming.
This is so much fun. And anybody can play here at the courts. It's so much fun. And they'll have a movie night here tonight. But they have open play throughout the week on Mondays and Thursdays, Monday mornings, Thursday evenings. I'm getting a workout here, as you can see, folks. I am on ice, and this is Minnie. Fun fact, Minnie is bigger than ice, which is funny. But they have been doing horse racing here at the Carleton County Fair for 133 years. It started before the fair, actually, and that's why the fair got going. This is a square brain, you guys. I'm from Arizona. This is perfect. This is going very well. We are in the air. If you're interested in learning more about Northern Lights Area Studio, they are here on 26 East Superior Street. I'm just going to keep going. Unit 509. Tons of wood down here is sourced from what most people throw away, but it can go from being unclaimed to being turned into beautiful art, like this piece. Some of the biggest names in American history have performed right here on the stage at Denfeld High School, from former President Richard Nixon to Johnny Cash, but it's the theater students here that aren't able to use it. When searching for acorns, you may originally want to head down here on the ground, but the real answer is to look above you in the trees. Some students find their place in high school, whether that's through sports, academics, or the arts.
I have one student who, when I first met her, she was so shy, she just didn't even talk forever. And she, in our one act, she had a line. She came out on stage, she performed, and it's amazing to see this shy kid finding a safe place and just being awesome and excelling.
Keely Waxter says around 70 students are in Denfeld High School's drama program, putting on productions in a school that has rich history, but it doesn't come without challenges.
It was the week of the show, our speakers broke. So we ended up making a call and getting someone to lend us speakers we could put on the floor, and then having to figure out how to navigate around these speakers on the floor so we could have sound.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
The nearly century-old theater once had big productions on stage and hosted thousands in the audience. Even though the theater isn't in as good condition as it once was, when they first see it, most students are mesmerized by the space. What is that reaction like?
I mean, just jaws open, eyes wide open. Some of them like to make a little noise to hear it echo. You know, a little sound, a little song. Yeah.
But while the spotlight has been on the students, it hasn't always been on the theater itself. The theater's rich history is well documented in Duluth's archives, with rows of students filling its seats and old newspaper clippings talking about well-known people. Some of the biggest names in American history have performed right here on the stage at Denfeld High School, from former President Richard Nixon to Johnny Cash, but it's the theater students here that aren't able to use it.
Students want to be there, they come in here, they love it, and then they're not performing on it, and that's really hard.
Really hard when you have equipment that doesn't work well and only 3 lights you're able to use.
Yeah, so we have our 1980s light board and our 1980s soundboard and our receiver that usually works.
Okay. And when it comes to 1980s as in it hasn't been.
Yeah, that was when it was updated.
And the equipment forced them to move their recent production of Chicago to nearby Lincoln Park Middle School.
So we had 3 days to load everything in and learn how to do everything in a space we'd never been in before.
Duluth Public School Superintendent John Magus recognizes what needs to be done at the theater.
But the sound system is really the main piece that I see. We also had some issues with our choir staging and sort of the band shells. That's something that we have ordered as well.
Overall, it's going to take a big chunk of change to get the curtains up.
It would be over $500,000, probably closer to $800,000.
And where would that money come from? Magus says it's going to take a community-wide approach.
I think it's important for us to consider what we can do for additional funding for the schools, not just for the theater, but thinking about all the needs of the district.
That funding can eventually make local stars. Wes Drummond of the Duluth Playhouse has seen it happen firsthand.
They often perform on our main stage. They often teach for us. They often are involved in a lot of the rest of the Playhouse programming. So Duluth has so many opportunities for the arts, and it really does start at the high schools.
And while it's great to be a local star, the students at Denfeld just want to be on their home stage.
You don't have to come in here and be a star. Some places can be competitive. I think we're really lucky that it's all about growing together and supporting each other. It's a lovely community.
A community that wants to see the theater live on for another century.
I think it's really important that we preserve it and make sure that we continue to use it, not just for the school district, but the community as a whole.
In Duluth,
if anyone can restore a historic theater, it's Duluth, Minnesota. We've seen it done.
Mitchell Zimmermann.
It's a beautiful space that is hidden and secret. Like, everyone needs to see this place and be in here and experience it.
Northern News Now. Over 4,000 calls a year, extinguishing flames, doing CPR,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
working in tight spaces,
Even tighter, like a mummy.
and breaking windows to save patients.
Just a nice tap. Perfect.
Those are just a few things the Superior Fire Department does each day to keep the city's almost 30,000 residents safe. I got to experience it firsthand. But in order to respond to a call, you need to get suited up quickly. On within 2 minutes. That's how quick they have to get on the truck and get to a call. Their base layer is boots, pants, a jacket, hood, gloves, and a helmet.
Get set, go.
At this point, they would be firing up the truck to head out on the call. Things like zippers eat up time.
Okay, now I'm stressed.
According to those on the squad, it just becomes second nature. For me, not so much.
Gosh, it's the gloves.
But you can get it all on. Did we do it? 28 seconds to spare. We did it. Once their suits are on, Brandon Cardenas says they're ready to put out flames.
But we want to give you that sense of what we do. There isn't going to be smoke, but you'll feel the darkness, you'll feel the heat, you'll see the flames.
And did we feel the heat? After adding heavy and claustrophobic breathing equipment, Superior firefighters have to fight fires in all kinds of places, from homes to refineries. And while flames are the most well-known battle they face, most of their calls don't require hoses at all.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Almost 3/4 of their calls are medical, whether someone is having chest pain or have fallen down.
CPR, us in the fire service, we call it a code.
One of the most important things Jalon Sventek and Gus Abramson do is CPR on patients, waiting for an ambulance to show up.
And so they can take 20 to 30 minutes to get on scene. So that's on us as Superior Fire to work a code for 30 minutes.
And doing CPR for just a few minutes is hard work.
So a lot of people lean over. You're going to wear yourself out really quick doing that, and you're
But those compressions
using your hips
can
not your
keep a
back
person
or your
alive.
arms.
CPR works
And-
on patients.
And while medical calls make up a bulk of their work, they also rescue people from unexpected places.
So this scenario is something that we see averaging probably once or twice a year. Good?
Yeah.
All right.
While rare, Ben Dvorak says the rescue team can recover people out of the bottom of ships unique to the Twin Ports.
All right, and then slack on the blue. Navigating through that ship with somebody that's injured can be extremely challenging.
Challenging indeed. Luckily, this rescue had much more room, and I got to be the patient.
Who wants to do what?
I'll be a victim.
You want to be the victim?
Sure.
All right.
And from there, we were hoisted into the air using a basket.
Okay.
And normally, it's a lot busier around them when responding to a rescue.
They crawl off the main deck of the bridge and get to the substructure underneath. But rescuing those individuals, the lift is not super high, but you're working off the bottom of the...
windy and
Yeah.
crazy.
Right, hard.
Yeah.
And the squad isn't always reaching new heights to rescue patients. Rather, it can take just one tap.
There you go.
John Weber and his team use the jaws of life, as they're known, to rescue patients in bad accidents.
We're taking this whole door off, so it's all right.
Getting the doors off of a wrecked car using massive tools isn't easy, but the heavy lifting is why they do the job.
Perfect. And just like that, we got the door off.
Saving lives. One fire, one
2,
compression,
3, 4, 5, 6.
one lift, and one cut at a time.
Perfect.
That's the firefighter spirit.
Perfect.
In Superior,
And just like that, we're done.
Mitchell Zimmerman, Northern News Now.
Yeah.